streaming the action by the take it there. KO and submissions gonna be displayed. Create your fighter, tune in and you watch them slay. From the comfort of your couch, the thrill's real. Live commentary make the battle feel surreal. Weaving through opponents, making sure you break them down. The fight night lights, only thing we talking now. For everybody wanna see their own champion rise. Come equipped with strategy, nobody wants to tie. Try submission, saw you grapple, trying to break a bone. Use your elbow with your feet, you gotta get the throne. Where the strong don't really matter, gotta use your head. Don't slip or somebody'll make you go to bed. Legends about to be born and honor is the game. UFC gaming never gonna be the same. Fight night light streamed on Twitch, where you never find anything better than this. Nope. Fight night light streamed on Twitch. Let the warrior in you climb up on that list. Hey. Fight night light streamed on Twitch, where you never find anything better than this. Nope. Fight night light streamed on Twitch. Let the warrior in you climb up on that list. Hey. Stepping into the ring, a fight, not a fair. Twitch streaming the action by the take it there. KO and submissions gonna be displayed. Create your fighter, tune in and you watch them slay. From the comfort of your couch, the thrill's real. Live commentary make the battle feel surreal. Weaving through opponents, making sure you break them down. The fight night lights, only thing we talking now. Everybody wanna see their own champion rise. Come equipped with strategy, nobody wants to tie. Try submission, saw you grapple, trying to break a bone. Use your elbow with your feet, you gotta get the throne. Where the strong don't really matter, gotta use your head. Don't slip or somebody'll make you go to bed. Legends about to be born and honor is the game. UFC gaming never gonna be the same.
Doing stuff up, EJ.
Yeah.
I messed up my pictures. Alright, let me
light streamed on Twitch. Let the warrior in you climb up on that list. Hey, fight night light streamed on Twitch.
Alright, y'all. Welcome to Fight Night Lights, the ultimate simulation league on UFC 3. Join us in this virtual fighting league where you can create, control, and the destiny of your fighter, compete against other players, and experience thrilling simulated fights on our Twitch channel. You get to customize your fighter appearance, upgrade attributes, and choose from various fighting styles. As you win fights and progress in the league, earn experience points to improve your fighter skills, moves, perks, and climb the rankings. Remember, FNL is a AI control simulated league that follows the mechanics and gameplay of UFC 3. We do not control these fighters. We just simply put the stuff in and play it on stream. What's going on, FNL? I am Ty. I got in the booth with me Al Ingram. What's going on?
Nothing much. Glad to be here. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. We get ready to go into a new week of fighting, so should be a good show we got today.
Yeah, now hopefully everything stays up right. I probably messed stuff up already. But technically EJ messed it up, but it is what it is. We apologize. We love you, EJ. Alright, y'all. So we got the introductions out of the way. We're gonna go ahead into game recaps. So we got a lot going on. Middleweight and heavyweight in the league. We can start with middleweight if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
All
Fine.
right. So, all right. Let me go to my middleweight fighters. I'm gonna just go in order from my list. I got ABC order. So the first middleweight fighter up is Al Ingram.
Mm.
Striker out of Montego Bay, Jamaica, 6'3", 184. Your guy lost to Bam Bam. Your next matchup is against Garrett Walker. Um, yeah, things ain't been going your way for Al, has it?
Things have not been going away at all. I came into um the preseason fights, won my first preseason fight, and then as soon as we get into the tournaments, the first tournament to decide the rankings, and then the second one for the middleweight championship, and I lost both of those fights. So a lot has been going on in my camp. Um, We worked on some things this week. We got Garrett Walker, I believe, coming up in the tournament this week,
Mhm.
and we looking for the knockout. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm looking to
Yeah.
so we're gonna
Well, yeah, we'll get into them predictions later, but yeah, we gonna see. Next fighter up for middleweight is on your knees, brand new guy coming in here from El Salvador. He actually won the championship. He beat Walter Mellon. I believe in round one, if I'm not mistaken.
oh yeah. So
Yeah, so that was definitely something to go back and watch if you want to follow on your knees storyline. Literally came in the league, and had his non-ranked fight in the tournament and climbed his way up the ladder to win the championship belt. We have Os Rades. I Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. He is 6 foot, 171 pounds, out of Portland, Oregon. He was ranked number 11. He lost in round 3 decision to Bullet. Really good fight there. Really came down literally to the judges making that decision. Um, and honestly, watching that fight, I felt like he had a really good standing. I think Bullet really dominated that though, but he was able to keep up with Bullet, who is probably one of the stronger fighters in the league. As we talk about Bullet coming up next, Bullet Boca out of Congo, 5 foot 11, 182 pounds. He's a balanced fighter. He was ranked number 6. Like we said, he beat Austin. I believe he lost in his second bout that he had. Um, Ethan Storm, middleweight fighter out of Illinois, aka the Hurricane, 6'3", 185 pounds, was ranked number 15. I think he won his first round and then lost the second one.
yeah.
Frank I, he is submission specialist, but he fights like he's a striker. 5'8", 171. He was ranked number 8. Um, he's got West coming up in this next fight, but Frank made it pretty far. He's definitely one of those guys. He hasn't really been upgrading like that, but for some reason this guy is still pretty good. Um, Garrett Walker, your next opponent. He is a balanced fighter out of London, England. 6'2", 185 pounds. He was ranked number 13. Um, believe he won the first round and lost the second. I forgot to write those last fights. I apologize. Um, Next one, Jafari Jr. middleweight. He's also out of Jamaica. 6 foot, 177 pounds. He was ranked number 4. I know he made it pretty far. I think he made it into the semi round and lost. I think he surprised a lot of people too. He's a striker. KZ Wrigley, balanced fighter out of Canada, ranked number 12. Had a pretty good showing. I'm surprised with him. He definitely has potential. I think he needs to get those upgrades in, and he can actually do some damage.
Yeah.
Nathan Noble, another one he's a submission specialist, 6'3", 185 pounds, out of Boston, Massachusetts. He was actually ranked number 16. That first tournament he did really good, and then the second tournament not so much. I think with those adjustments people made, they really caught on to some of these submission specialists. Another submission specialist out of middleweight is Noah Bell, 6', 185 pounds, out of Atlanta, Georgia. He's ranked 18. He's still there on the low board. He's just trying to find a name for himself. Um, Rafael De Rossi. I think everybody knows who he is. He is a striker, 6'3", 185 pounds, out of Rome, Italy. The Italian Stallion. He is ranked number 3. He's got a big fight coming up for him. He has a chance to get him a title fight, and if he can get this win next week against Jafari, who we talked about earlier. Submission specialist Skylar Stevens, 6'3", 185 pounds, out of Toronto, Canada, is ranked number 9. He has a really tough fight against Yuji, who is a striker. A lot of these strikers can pretty much get these submission specialists if they don't allow them get to the ground, but once they're to the ground, then it's probably lights out for these strikers. Virginia Emmett, 6'3", 185 pound submission specialist, out of Richmond, Virginia. He's got a semi-easy matchup against Noah Bell. We'll see what he can do there. Walter Mellon lost in that semifinals against Anyanese. Lost in the finals against Anyanese. So he'll have another chance next week to fight him. He is a grappler out of Mississippi. Wes Leaf, out of Canada, another Canadian on board, striker, 6'2", 182 pounds. His next fight is against Frank. I think that's going to be a really, really good fight. And to round out for the middleweights is Yuji Itadori, 6', 185 pounds, out of Japan. He is ranked number 10. His next opponent is Skyler. Any middleweight fights that you can remember that really stuck out to you?
In the card we got coming up this week, or
From the tournaments.
um,
I know I didn't put you on the
definitely,
spot.
definitely that decision. Oz had to pull it.
Mm-mm.
That definitely stuck out to me. There was a couple of them that stuck out to me. But I think this one probably stuck out the most.
Chat, let us know what your favorite fights
It
were too.
it definitely, to me, it seemed a little even halfway through. But Oz, he just had the advantage. Going into the later second round, well, going into the third round, if you ask me, like that was his round to lose, if you ask me. He came out victorious, so we're gonna see what happens in his fight this week. But that was definitely one of them that's stuck out to me for sure.
Yeah, I gotta say that just on your knees in general, all his fights, you know, he came up pretty aggressive. It wasn't like as a non-ranked person he just was like barely making it through. He was knocking people out and just made his way all the way up to the championship. But um yeah, that was the middleweights. You can go ahead and talk about the heavyweights.
Yeah, so we got Aaron Hughes, 6'2", 250. The Iceman out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Lost to Oxlong in the second round knockout the last fight. Going up against you this week,
Mm.
Ali Melendez.
Yeah.
And then of course your Nets 6'2", 250 out of San Salvador, El Salvador. Uh, Lost round two to Andrew. You're headed against Aaron Hughes. We got Andrew Wrighton, 6'3", 257, Kansas City, Missouri. Lost in the semis to Ox Long in round one, going against Kane Warwick in the upcoming fights. We got see, I remember how to say his last name because he corrected me on his last name, but Aloy, how I say it?
I
Aloy,
wait. Who you on?
uh, line 8, Aloy, Todu.
Todu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just call him Todu.
Todu.
6'5", 255 from Japan. Um, Now I remember this one. He lost in the second round by knockout to Wrighton, but had a very controversial win in the first round by split decision over Rain Russell. Definitely controversial, just being that it was a split decision. But he's going against Lenny the next round. Kane Warwick, 6'1", 265 from Ukraine. Lost in the semis to K9 by submission in round one, going against Andrew the next round. EJ Bailey, 6'6", 255, the Black Mamba himself from Houston, Texas, lost by submission in round one in the second round, going against Tom Matthews. Ivar Warwick, 6'1", 265 from Ukraine as well. Lost in round one to K9 by submission. He's headed up against Most Feared next fight card. And then of course K9, 6'6", 265 from Indianapolis, Indiana. Lost in the final to Mike Oxlong. And is gonna get a heavyweight championship rematch against Oxlong in the main event of the next fight card. Lenny Lyons, Mr. Lights Out himself, 6'4", 260 from France. Lost to Kane in the second round um, by submission, going up against Toe 2. Our defending reigning heavyweight champion Mike Oxlong, 6'6", 265. Um, the comeback kid himself. We might need to come up with a new nickname for that though.
Yeah, he ain't the comeback. He already
yeah,
there.
the way he's been fighting for sure. Beat K9 and is looking forward to defending his title against K9 once again in the next fight card. Most Feared, aka the Curse, 6'6", 250. He lost against Warwick.
I think back to back in this
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah. Back. He lost against Warwick, knockout in round one.
And if you
He
guys don't know, Most Feared is We Are Bad Gamers, who is our third admin, so we're always just making fun of him. But continue.
well, the way he's been getting knocked out, he's not the most feared right now. But don't tell him I said that. Okay. So he's gonna go against Igor Warwick in the next one. And then Rain Russell, 6'4", 265, Reno, Nevada. Um, Lost in that split decision to Totu, and it's going against Thomas in the next fight card. Then we got Thomas Noble, the Bone Crusher, 6'6", 250, Boston, Massachusetts, lost in a second round. I would say that was a second round flash knockout he lost against Tom Matthews. So he's going against Ray Russell. Tom Matthews, speaking of him, 6'4", 265, from Canada, lost to K9 with a second round submission in round 3,
Mm.
going against EJ Bailey in the next fight card. And that is all of the heavyweight. So I'm gonna swing it to you and ask you. I mean, did you see any surprising fights in that heavyweight card that you thought was surprising?
I mean, to me, Tom Matthews, he's another guy that kind of just came on late and's just been grinding, and he's hanging in there. I mean, to go 3 rounds with K9 out of 3 and don't get submitted until the end, obviously he probably just ran out a little bit of stamina, and K9 took advantage. I would not be surprised if he wins that fight against EJ and climbs up the rankings to try to get him a title fight real soon. Um, yeah, and then of course, Mike Oxlong, he's just been so dominant. Like you said, we need to change that nickname from Comeback Kick to something else, because he is definitely not coming back from anything. He's been pretty dominant throughout both of the tournaments so far.
It's one of the ones who's very balanced too, because he can win by knockout or he can make you tap too.
Mhm.
Just so
Yeah, that first, I think
tap.
the first round he got a submission and he knocked somebody out the next one. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the fights I was definitely looking forward to. That I'm pretty sure everybody had locked up for the final. One of the earlier fights though that was just probably maybe the second best fight besides the Oxlong K9 fight. To me, it had to be that first rounder between Russell and Toto.
Mhm.
Both of these guys was throwing punches against each other. Like it was a super like it was a great fight. Like that was probably, if it wasn't for that 9 Oxon fight, that probably could have been a contender for a heavyweight championship fight right there,
Mm.
because both of them was going back and forth the whole fight. Um, I would probably give the edge definitely to Toto, but I can see why the judges gave it to him by split decision as well, because the fight was so close. It was so close. Like you'll have Toto knock him down, and then Russell will come back up and he'll get back up and automatically knock him down. It was just one of those fights that was going very back and forth. So I'm definitely hoping these two would fight against each other again in the future. And if you guys didn't see that fight between them two, definitely go back and watch that, and that would make you be like, "Hey, we need to see these guys in the ring, going 1-on-1 again." But that was definitely a good fight too.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see all those good fights. I'm sure we will. I mean, a lot of these guys um will end up fighting each other several times. We'll go ahead and talk about these rankings real quick. I know
Good.
people might be a little confused on how we came up with the rankings and everything like that. We did consider both tournaments, but it mostly ran heavily on this last tournament, as that was the like telltale of how people were going to fight. Um, the middleweight, that's the wrong one. Middleweight rankings. Of course, number 1 is On Your Knees. Number 2, Walter Melon. 3, Rafael De Rossi. Number 4, Jafari Jr. Number 5, Bam Bam Bigelow. 6, Bullet Boica. I don't know how to say his last name. Just be calling him Bullet. 7, Wes Leafs. 8, Frank I. Skylar Stevens at 9. And round out the top 10 is Yugi Itadori. Number 11 is Osrazi. 12, KZ Wrigley. 13, Garrett Walker. 14 Al Ingram III, 15 Ethan Storm, 16 Nathan Noble, 17 Virginia Emmett, and rounding out the middleweights is Noah Bell at 18. You guys can see in the rankings on Discord what their like previous ranks were. Obviously, as I said before, most impressive is the non-rank on your knees coming up there, and also Watermelon. He came from 17 and got up there to rank number 2. I'm not surprised about Raphael. I feel like he's probably the most active in the league, and he grinds every day. He studies the fighter, so his previous rank was 14. He just had some miscues on that first tournament, but earned that spot to be in that top 3 fighters. One guy that a lot of people are trying to keep an eye out on is Bullet. He's right at number 6 right now. He's got a nice little fight coming up against Bam Bam, I believe, and he should win that one and probably put him up there to get him be out there for the next time to get a contender fight. So I think most people aren't too surprised about the middleweight rankings. I think they are pretty accurate. I don't see anybody that's really like a shocker that where they're placed. Well, I would say Virginia Emmett being 17 is a little shocker. I think he should be fighting a little bit better than what he is right now. So we'll see if he changes that up for these next fights. You can go over to heavyweights. Pull that up.
So for heavyweights, we got Mike Oxlong, of course, being the reigning defending champ at number 1. K9 at number 2. Kane Warwick, keeping his spot at number 3. Andrew Wrighton, he was number 1 last week, but fell to the number 4. EJ Bailey making the long climb from number 12 to number 5. Tom Matthews going from number 7 to number 6. Lenny Lyons, who was previously ranked 11, going to 7. Todu, going up 1 to number 8. Adam Matz, going down to number 6. I don't believe Adam Matz is with us anymore though, so that will probably affect the rankings next week. Eric B, who was previously number 5, fell to number 10. And then we got Rain Russell, who was previously number 8. He's at number 11. Thomas Noble going down to 12. Aaron Hughes being up at 13, still staying at 13. Ali Melendez going up 2 spots to 14 from 16. Most Feared going down from 15, from 14 to 15. And then Ivar Warwick getting a number 16 spot. So when I did these rankings, I did them mostly based off of this tournament. So the top guys are some of the ones who went far in this tournament. But when it came down to it, it was, who had the strongest win, or if they lost, how quick they lost or something like that. So with me, Oxlong and K9, they definitely deserve to be number 1 and number 2, of course. I'm okay with everything to number 8, of course. When it came to 9 and below, it got a little tricky for me. And so that's when I really didn't have any choice but to go back to the previous tournament and decide from that. And so a lot of the way these guys are ranked now, from number 8 and below, is basically based off of how they did in this tournament and how they did in the last tournament as well, because there was no way to decide who was going to be ranked what from this tournament, because most of these guys they either took a loss in the first round of the tournament or the second round of the tournament.
Yeah, and I think we won't be able to get the proper rankings until probably like FNL 3 or something like that, where we really have some data to go after.
Yeah,
Because we do want to talk to you guys about how we're going to do rankings from now on. It would be more so of a point system, not just that you won your fight, you move up. Um, so we're gonna try to get a nice way where you pretty much know, like, before this rankings and matchups even come out, who you're fighting, based off of the point system, on how we can get the rankings pretty solidified, so it don't be any kind of like bias or just neither one of us favor anybody. I mean, and then that's why we put our fighters in opposite weight classes that we run. Um, so I don't have any favorites. I mean, I do have favorites as far as like who I like to see fight, but there's no favoritism as far as putting people in rankings. Like, obviously, because we got two of the admins at the bottom of the pile, so which we deserve to be because we suck. So yeah, and then Al's at the bottom, so we're not gonna be biased about anything. What point system? So I was doing some research, and people, they do like points for like 3 points for if it's a knockout, two for submission, what round they knocked them out in. Um, Basically, if they won the fight, they get a certain amount of points, just stuff like that to get totals. But we'll
yeah.
see if that works. We're kind of just going about and see if we can get
And
some system down.
I think I just found the one that we was looking at previously too, where if you got the win, it would be worth 3 points. The draw was going to be worth 1 point. If you lost, it was going to be no points. And if you get a round one stoppage, it would be a bonus 3 points. Round two stoppage, bonus 2 points. Round three, of course, one bonus point. So, like for example, if a fighter wins by a first round knockout, it would have been 6 points for that fighter. So
Mhm.
that's basically like one of the scoring systems that we was looking at when it came to rankings as well.
Yeah, and hopefully that will just add on to, obviously, as we have the rankings settled right now, we can actually utilize that point system to kind of help out, um, with the rankings too.
Right.
Let's go ahead and get into these matchups real quick. Should be some good matchups happening right here. I didn't get a graphic made for that, so we'll just talk about it. Let me go to the predictions. So we got about 11 predictions in so far, and we'll go through and see what the majority is, and we'll go ahead and tag team matchups and predictions at the same time. So, all
Okay.
right, so let's do. I'm gonna just roll through the whole prediction list. If you guys haven't already, predictions is in Discord under the announcements. I'm probably gonna make a channel saying predictions, so you just click
I
on the
wish
Google form
I
and
would have kept my predictions to see who I predicted. I ain't.
I got it. I got it right on up. We going through it.
Just
We
let me
put
know
we
so
putting
I
both of
can-
us on blast.
Yeah, just let me know so I can see who I chose. Cause
All
I
right.
can't remember.
Yep. I'm gonna go through it. All right. So first fight, on your knees versus watermelon. Right now the score is looking like it's pretty even. It's 6-5. For Melon to win against On Your Knees. I personally picked On Your Knees, and you picked On Your Knees as well. What did you like out of that matchup from before that made you pick On Your Knees?
like that he was a young fighter coming into it. Nobody knew who he was, and basically just shocked everybody in his first tournament and came in and won it all. Like I know that was a shock for everyone, for sure, for sure. So I'm looking for this to be a very good. Um, I'm looking for it to be a very good fight too. Um, but I think on your knees is gonna come out and get the victory again over Watermelon. Not that Watermelon because he's a good fighter too, but on your knees is looking very very good,
Yeah.
especially in his fight. So I definitely think he's gonna come out and win this one.
Well, so Walter is my brother, so he he ain't gonna he probably not
And
gonna win that one, but we'll see. I was surprised watching him making it through there, so I'm sure he's surprised too. We'll go ahead and go to the next one. The Rossi versus Junior. This is like a landslide. Majority of the league picked the Rossi. Only one person picked Junior. I honestly think this is gonna be a really, really good fight, though. I think both of these guys have some crazy striking abilities. There was some concern in chat about Junior not upgrading, but he had just DM'd me and said that he upgraded. So, um, we were gonna. I did add a section in here about these worth, their net worth, because technically you guys could see how much money people have in their bank. So, um, but obviously DeRossi is one of those guys that's very active in the league, and he probably has a lot more money than Junior has to upgrade. But sometimes that money doesn't really play a factor, and people don't upgrade in the right spots, or sometimes I don't know, the game just does AI things. So, but I still think this is gonna be a really good fight.
yeah, the thing I like about DeRozan is he has a lot of power. He has
Mhm.
a lot of power. His striking is unbelievable. With Junior, when it comes to like striking, I just don't see him keeping up with DeRozan. Um, no offense, but I just can't see it.
You're not going with your Jamaican brother?
I can't. Hey, that's my Jamaican brother, but I can't go with your brother.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, DeRozan, I think this is gonna be a easy fight for him, and I can see DeRozan definitely challenging on your knees next for sure for that middleweight title.
All right. This next one, Bam Bam Bigelow versus Bullet. Landslide. Bullet was chosen. Except for one. One person picked Bigelow. Um, to me, Bullet still has a lot to prove. I picked Bullet, but we seen him in the tournament that a lot of people picked him to go all the way, and he let him down. We seen him earlier talk about Bullet's gonna be the king eventually. This is the fight he has to win though if he wants to be the king. This will put him in the contender spot, and um, but I like how he fights. He's very patient. He's gonna find his spots and pick them very well. I don't know if that's part of his game plan, if he wants to be that slower approach, but to me, I feel like if he gets into a fight with somebody that's a aggressive striker, which Bam Bam is a submission specialist, but if he can get in a fight with an aggressive fighter, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, he's definitely a blitzed fighter for sure. I don't see though Bam Bam taking him down.
Mhm.
I don't see him taking him down at all. So that's why I'm for sure choosing Bullet. Now Bullet might take him down.
Mhm.
But he's gonna have to watch it if he gets on the ground with a submission
Oh
special
yeah.
as
No.
Bam.
I can tell you
So
that Bullet's not gonna take him down because he has his takedowns turned off, so he ain't going to ground, Bam Bam's gonna have to knock him to the ground to get him in that
Right.
situation. He knows that these submission specialists can be pretty strong. So this next fight is Wes Leaf versus Frank I. Every single person that voted picked Wes Leaf. We know
Mm-hmm.
how that stuff goes when it's a heavy pick on somebody. Sometimes it don't go that way, but this should be pretty good. Wes Leaf is another active guy that does his upgrades very well, and Frank I on the opposite does not, but somehow he's still ranked up here in the top.
Yeah.
That's how it goes sometimes. But like I mentioned in chat, if you guys miss one or two upgrades and didn't tell nobody, like, hey, I'm out of town, or or I'm banking my points, we're gonna be deducting points away, because I just feel like it's not fair for the guys that are upgrading and to get these guys that's never upgraded and they beat them. Like, I just feel like that's like stupid cheese. So I'm gonna be deducting 5 points away from all your attributes until you get down to 30, I guess, and
Then we just go
yeah, and then you just be done. So um,
Jetto cuz.
yep. Skylar Stevens versus Yugi. Skylar is the favorite in this one. Yugi, I believe this is gonna be like his first time he upgrades, so it should be pretty interesting to see what kind of fighter he develops. That first tournament, he was ranked number 3, and he was really good. He made it, I believe, to the semifinals or something. But Skylar Stevens, he's well known in the UFC Sim League, and he knows how to build his fighter. I believe he's a submission specialist, and Yugi's
Yeah.
a striker. So
Yeah.
should be pretty interesting.
That's what I was about to say too. We got another fight where we got a submission specialist versus a striker. So this fight can go either way. If Yugi keeps him on the ground, keeps him from taking it to the ground, then it's Yugi's fight to lose. But if Skylar finds some way to get him on the ground, it's Skylar's. But Skylar is very good when it comes to things like that. He's been in a couple of leagues, so very experienced fighter that
Mhm.
you is going up against.
Yeah. And I don't know too much about Yugi, aka Joey. He came in pretty aggressive in the league, so we'll see if he utilizes those upgrade points properly to try to defend against Skylar. If I'm him, I'm definitely investing on takedown defense, because
Right.
as soon as you get to the ground with Skylar, it's gonna be over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next fight is Oz versus KZ Wrigley. This is a pretty balanced pick between everybody. Um, it's literally dead even for the picks. Far as our picks goes, you pick Os and I pick Os. So we got some similar mindset there.
Yeah.
Next fight is Garrett versus Owl.
Oh, the fight of the night.
Yeah. So I actually went with Garrett. I didn't pick you
Oh,
because
come on, Al.
I didn't pick you.
Oh,
I just feel like Garrett has that he has such good potential, and obviously you do too. I just think that there's a couple more things that you need to work on that Garrett has up his sleeve, and I think that's gonna kill you. We've seen in the tournament with Al that you know I just don't think his chin is tough enough yet. And what is Garrett? Garrett a balance fighter?
I think if I'm remembering correctly, that was one thing that we was working on in camp this week. Was that
Okay.
store. So we should go in with a little bit more of a strong chin this time. Working on our hands and everything of that sort. So That's what I'm saying. As long as if I can keep my chin strong, I'm going for the knockout. So
Yeah,
I
Garrett.
knockout. No more knockouts for me or going to decision. I want to win this and win it quick.
Yeah, Garrett's got about 74,000 left in his bank to get some kind of decent upgrades against Al. So I mean, you got the money to
Yeah.
upgrade, so we'll see how that goes. Um, Ethan versus Nathan Noble. This is gonna be a good one. You voted for Nathan. I went with Ethan. Tell me why you picked Nathan.
Nathan. Um, submission specialists. I don't know why. I just like I just love these submission specialists. I think Nathan is definitely going to have the advantage on getting a takedown numerous times during a fight. I just don't think that Ethan would be able to stop him if they get on the ground. So I'll give him maybe the first maybe 2.5 minutes just filling each other out, and then after that, I'm saying Noble is going for the takedown and to make him tap.
Oh, I have to agree that Nathan will go for the takedown, but I don't think he's gonna get it. I think Ethan's striking ability is not gonna allow Nathan to get him to the ground. And if I know Ethan, he's definitely gonna invest in that takedown defense and um, make sure that Nathan doesn't get him to the ground. Next up in the last fight for middleweight is Virginia Emmett versus Noah Bell. Um, Virginia is picked heavily in this one. We both picked Virginia to win this one. Um, yeah, I think still, like I said earlier, I think Virginia is pretty low ranked. Considering I know how he is in sim leagues and how he's been in the fight sim leagues. I think he's still got a couple things he can progress on, obviously, and but it should still be an interesting one. This should be an easy win for him. I don't think Noah's been that as active. He does have a couple points to upgrade, but we'll see what he does with this one.
We got a submission specialist versus a submission specialist in this one.
Oh, it might be a little boring.
Yeah. But if I would give it to who would be the better one, um, to get the submission, it would definitely be Virginia for sure.
Yeah, and we just got one more predictions put in, and they voted for Virginia also. All right, we'll go over to the heavyweights. Mike Oxlong versus K9. This is the talk of the fights right here. They both been going at it in Twitter. They've been talking in Discord. But most people pick Oxlong over K9. Three people pick K9. Both of
Here-
us pick Oxlong.
Here's the thing that's interesting about this fight. Oxlong, like I said earlier, Oxlong can do both of them. He can knock
Mhm.
them out, and he can make somebody tap out too. He's a lot more stronger though when he keeps them on the ground. The problem is with K9 is if he's standing toe to toe with someone, that other person has the advantage when they're standing up.
Mhm.
Now if they get to the ground somehow, then it's advantage K9. But I don't think that this fight, based off of what I've seen from Oxlong, I don't think Oxlong is gonna give it even a chance to get to the ground. Um, and he's gonna take advantage of that, and that's why I think Oxlong is definitely gonna win this fight because
Yeah,
he's not taking a chance going to the ground against this guy because this guy is very good on the ground. So
but
he's gonna try to keep it on his strong. He's gonna try to keep it where he's most strong at, and that's standing up for him.
what's up, Wes? And Tom says Kings falls eventually. So Tom did vote for K9, so I'm guessing he's thinking that Mike is getting ready to fall out that crown spot, and K9 submits him. K9 is definitely one of those, another guy that I've known and can upgrade very well. Mike's been doing his thing with his purple hair, and he's got a lot of power, like you said. I just feel like he's a little bit more aggressive, and I feel like he can knock K9 out before he can get him to the ground. But that's definitely a fight to watch. We're definitely going to highlight that one and see where that ends up. The
Sure.
next fight, the contenders, King Warwick versus Andrew Radon. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people voted for Andrew versus 4 for Kane. Um, I voted for Andrew, and you voted for Andrew. Um, this is gonna be, to me, this is gonna be a powerful fight.
Mm.
I think both of them invested heavily on power. And this is gonna be a striking match right here.
I mean, who best than to fight to see who's gonna go against the champion in the next fight card? I mean, you got both of these guys, Warwick in the championship tournament, knocked out most feared in the first round, made
Mhm.
Lions tap out, and then lost to 9 in the semis. Wrighton won both of his first 2 fights in the tournament by knockout, and then lost to Ox Long. So these two are definitely deserving of being in at the number 3 and at the number 4 spot, and to see who's gonna be the next one up after this championship fight. Both of these guys are very good, very powerful. It's gonna be a good co-main event. I could say that it's gonna be a very good co-main event.
So what's
Um,
interesting about them though is one is a submission specialist and one is a grappler. Which we know that grapplers can do a little bit of everything. Walter is a grappler for the middleweight,
yeah,
and they're almost just similar to balance fighters. But obviously they have a little bit more strength towards the ground. So that could be a good plus there for Andrew going against Kane, who is the submission specialist.
exactly.
Um, so we'll see if Kane can get Andrew to the ground or not. But if he does, I feel like Kane could win that one.
Sure.
And Wes just said he got his predictions in. I know, I seen it pop up. He did pick Kane also in that one.
Good choice. Good choice.
Next fight, EJ Bailey versus Tom Matthews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 votes for Tom. It 4 votes for EJ. Uh oh. Tom, I talked about it earlier. I feel like Tom is that sneaky good fighter. Like this dude, he came out of nowhere. He was towards the lower rankings, climbed all the way up. What is he ranked 5 right now? Um, but he's got a good matchup against EJ.
Yeah, Tom is one of those ones who he can flash knock you out quick.
Mhm.
Um, Tom coming off of and actually I think that's how he lost the first tournament with a flash knockout too. Just came out of nowhere. But he's developed very good since that first tournament. He looked very good in the second tournament. EJ did too. EJ looked very
Mhm.
good in this last tournament too. So it's gonna be interesting. This is another good matchup between two good guys for sure.
Yeah, Wes, we went through the middleweight already. You're gonna have to catch the bod. Far as your fight goes, where's Wes? Dang, where's this fight at?
Wes was fighting Frank.
Oh, Frank. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that was 100% Wes.
yeah,
Ain't
missed it.
nobody picked Frank. But I still think it's gonna be a good fight between them two. I feel like Frank has proved that he could be a good fighter. If he even upgrades, he would be very deadly. So,
Exactly.
but I feel like Wes, he's one of those guys. Like I said, I'm not biased with certain fighters, but he's one of my favorite middleweights to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, the Tom and EJ fight though, I think EJ obviously he's got those kicks down pat. So Tom's gonna have to keep putting them Fist of Furies up and do those flash knockouts like he's been accustomed to doing. But EJ
And
can do it too. He did it that first round.
yeah,
Got that flash kick knockout.
and that's what I was about to say. I was surprised at that knockout he did. Eric B. That was amazing.
Mhm.
So if he brings that same mentality that he had in that fight in this fight, it's gonna be a very good.
Yeah, that's probably circle for one of the top fights of the night.
Yeah,
Right there. Lenny Lyons versus Aoi Todu. Majority pick Lenny. One person picked Todu, which was himself. Um, Todu, he could shock some people. This could be a setup right here, cause Todu went 3 rounds with Bullet. And only lost by decision. It's not like he got knocked out or anything.
mm,
So we'll see. This could go either way. I'm very familiar with Lenny's um the way he sets up his fighters and stuff. So that's probably the only reason why I picked Lenny. Um, I mean, obviously I do believe in that he could get that win. Todu is a balanced fighter and um, Lenny is a brawler, so I expect them to go ahead and strike it out a little bit. Let's see if Todu can try to get a knockout before sending it to decision.
yeah, that's gonna be the key right there. If he can shake him and hurt him before it comes to the decision, then that's his fight. If it goes to decision, I don't think it'll be enough though, because Lenny Lyons is a tough fighter.
Mhm. All right. Max, Adam Max versus Eric B. Um, looks like we got a pretty split decision between these two, Max and Eric. I went with Max and you went with Eric. I already know why you probably picked Eric, but I'll let you explain.
What you mean? What you mean?
Cause he aggressive. This dude is he's nasty.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, you got me. Yeah, he is very aggressive.
But he ain't got no money.
That's
So
very
he ain't upgrading, so
that's very true. But I think somehow he'll find a way to pull this out.
yeah, but I think Adam this is his last fight too, so I think so obviously he's not upgrading either, so this could go either way. Um I do like Eric B's fighter and he has just so much potential. I said it before of how good he is and it's just a waste of talent. Dang.
Right.
Alright, let's go ahead to Rain Russell versus Thomas Noble. Um, Thomas is a favorite in this one. I picked Thomas and you picked Thomas. But obviously Rain Russell can get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, Rain Russell, he can definitely get it done. I'm looking at him though. Here's the thing though. I chose Thomas, but that's no shade to Russell because I know he's going to be going in looking for a victory after that controversial split decision loss
Mhm.
to Todu. So, um, one way or another, one somebody is this fight is not going to go the distance. One way or another, this fight is not going to go the distance. It just depends on who wants it more in this fight. And in this case, I think it's going to be Noble who wants it more.
Yeah, I agree. I think Thomas will come out there pretty aggressive, and I would not be surprised if this doesn't go past 2 rounds. And I think Thomas will get the knockout. Next fight, Aaron Hughes versus Ali Melendez. Actually, y'all been picking me a lot. I don't know why. Aaron got 3 votes, and of course I picked myself, and you picked me. But um,
You see how I do that, Ty? If
yeah.
energy is supposed to give it back, you done went and chose again.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
But nah, I think you're the stronger fighter. And to be honest, I was gonna pick you anyways, but the only thing that gave me a little bit more inspiration to pick you is when Aaron Hughes called me out about choosing you to fight him.
Dang.
So
You're like,
I'm
forget this.
choosing that.
Um, but honestly, I don't know what's up with my dude. I feel like I've been putting the upgrades in the right spot. I don't know if I'm just on the wrong personality and posture. Like, I've been experimenting a little bit, so that's probably why I'm at the bottom of the rankings until I can find that right posture. Um, but yeah, my plan is to continue to straight the mess out of Aaron Hughes, but we'll see. Aaron's got a lot to try to prove too. I know he's been trying to get the right upgrades in also, and um, he's another guy that luck's just not on his side right now, and um, he is just trying to dig himself out of a hole and try to climb this rankings.
Mhm.
All right, that last fight, Most Feared versus Igor Warwick. Unfortunately, Igor is not like his brother, Kane. He is on the opposite ends of him. But this one, Most Feared is the pick to win in this one, which is surprising because Most Feared has been getting knocked out in these
Yeah.
tournaments fast and in a hurry. It's almost as if he has a zero chin.
Well, so has Alvar. I think he lost by submission in that last one. In the first, he didn't even make it out of the first round of the last tournament either, though. Well, neither one of these guys did. But most feared, I think he is finally gonna live up to his name. And he's gonna get him out, and he's gonna get him out quick.
We about to find out. That should be a pretty good fight. Always when it's at the bottom, those bottom fights usually be pretty good. Because they're just trying to climb themselves out of a hole and make a name for themselves. And
Mhm.
I expect these rankings to get fully shaken up. Like I want to see some tough decisions on us trying to set these ranks and um, hopefully everybody upgrades. So we'll go ahead and move on to the league news and um, answer any questions from anybody that might still be chilling with us in chat. Um, so basically, with the league news, we're just going to go over some of the things that you guys can look forward to. As far as the schedule goes, this Wednesday or today is the show. Tomorrow the upgrades close, so you guys get those upgrades in by 10 o'clock, so we can have time to get them inputted in. Um, the heavyweight fights start on Wednesday, at 6 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right. And then that Thursday is the middleweight fight. So you guys are gonna notice that we alternate, and that's because I work every other Thursday. So I try to alternate so we can try to keep the fights on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So you'll see us alternating, and I try to give a like earlier time period, 4 o'clock, so that you guys basically can enjoy your weekends and not worry about having to watch fights throughout the night. So that will be at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
After the fights, we do like um paying out with the fights and everything, so we have to try to get the money right so when upgrades open, you guys have plenty of time to get upgrades in.
Please go in your sheets after the upgrade period is over. Pretty please. We know y'all are going in there and seeing that after the upgrade period that it looks like nothing has been upgraded. We're just waiting on all the fights and everything to pan out and stuff like that so we can go in there and fix the sheets the way we need to. So we just ask y'all, please do not go in the upgrade sheets after the upgrade period is over.
Yeah, I mean, I posted in there several times. I don't know what else we can possibly do. I tag when the upgrades are open, and then I tag when the upgrades are closed. Like, once they're closed, leave them alone. You can take a screenshot, whatever you need to just, if you're trying to remember what you upgraded, but, please do not touch the numbers because, especially when he deals with the heavyweights and we're trying to stay on the same page. I rely heavily on whatever's on the sheet is what I think is in the game. So um, I that's how I upgrade the sheets, and that's how we stay updated and on the same page. So that's pretty much it for that. I did add a checkoff sheet. It basically is a guide in Discord to help you guys get the full potential of how much money you can get in the league. There's a whole bunch of different ways. Um, that is posted um, under the announcements. If you scroll up a little bit, there's a thing called FNL Checkoff. And if you click on it, it has like different things that you can do to upgrade in the league. There's the tweets that I've seen a couple of people tweeting about. Um, and let me explain about the hype your fight. The hype your fight gives you money towards your purse of your actual fight that week. So, some of you guys are tweeting and, really hyping up your fight. So all that money is added towards your purse of your fight, which everybody has a basic purse. If you win 5,000. So everything that you hype your fight with, it will be added. So let's say you did 3 tweets for 6K. I add 6K to your hype, to your purse. So now you get 11K, if you win your fight. And then if you lose your fight, you only get 25% of it. So, um, even if you get like, let's say you won all the way up to the max of a 25K hype fight and you lost. So you only get 25% of 25K. So, you still get a decent amount, but it just won't be as much as if you had won the fight. Um, so that's what that hype fight is. There's graphics in there that you can do. A lot of y'all missed out the opportunity of getting 40K, easy 40K from the articles with the graphic. Um, but yeah, that's what that checkoff sheet is. It's just letting you know. And then there's some people that have earned like the times 2 for your purse fight. Like Tom, I think he bought a upgrade pack, so he earned the times 2. So he can utilize whatever fight he wants to use it on, and then he can get times 2 his purse amount. Um, so you get a purse amount and you get a show amount. The show amount is constant as long as you upgrade. If you don't upgrade, you're not going to get it. Unless you told me that you're banking or something like that, then you can get your show. But yeah, those are the 2 main ways that people will constantly earn money at least. But then there's more ways that you can earn money throughout the league, like the giveaways, the predictions, watching the streams and getting channel points, turning them in. Like Bullet, he done turned in 40K in channel points. So I mean, there's definitely money out there. There's ways to earn. Hopefully everything is pretty simple for you guys. I try to make it as simple as I can. Um, but again, just please ask us questions if you don't get it. If you're struggling to keep up with stuff, I'm trying to streamline it as simple as I can. It said Eeyore has literally faced 9 back to back. What? You sure that's not Kane? Bullet?
Oh, let's see what he's talking about. Yeah. So he has faced them back to back, but that's only because at the time, the way they was ranked, he was the basically the lower ranked of the two. So that's how he ended up fighting him back to back like that.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think it was like the first time in the first one, like 9 was ranked like number 1, and Ivor was like number 16 or like number 17 or something like that. And then it ended up being like that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was the first podcast. It probably was a lot of babbling going on and confusion, but we'll make sure it's nice and good and entertaining. We hope to get a little bit more advance notice for you guys to tune in and get you guys some points, and we'll probably do some giveaways the next time. Um, we'll try to get an interview in there if we can get some fighters involved. I know a lot of people. It's only been like what, like 6 people really heavily involved in the league, so we're trying to change that dynamic and get everybody um interested. I feel like it's pretty easy and fun, so hopefully everybody feels the same way and can get this hypeness going and start tuning in. Um, Guys, don't forget to turn in your upgrade sheets tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm Ty, that's Al, and we appreciate y'all coming in here, chilling with us on this Sunday night, as you guys probably go watch some football and chill with your families. And Al, any last minute things?
Thank everybody for tuning in. Can't wait to see the middleweight card this week, and as well as the heavyweight card this week.
Alright, y'all. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.